For thousands of children and teenagers, tube feeding is a way of life. Some cannot eat or drink enough to meet nutritional requirements. Others, not at all. That's why so many people rely on a feeding tube to deliver liquid food directly into the stomach or small intestine. The good news? You can be confident knowing that today's tube feeding formulas can help provide proper nutrition for every child. However, tube feeding also poses some challenges, such as learning specific feeding techniques or adjusting to getting nutrition through a tube.
When I brought Julia home from the hospital, I was a little bit nervous because I didn't really feel prepared.
I used to love to kiss her tummy and tickle, and just little things like that I thought would be eliminated from our lives with this tube.
It's a very overwhelming experience. There's a lot to take in. But listen and find out what you can beforehand before you go home from the hospital. Ask any question that you have. No question is a stupid question.
I knew it was going to scar. I knew, growing up, kids are mean. They're going to be made fun of. Will she ever eat? How's this going to affect her clothes? There were quite a bit of concerns.
We have always told Ashton that he can do anything that he wants to. And just because he's tube fed doesn't mean that that's what defines him.
Tube feeding saved my daughter's life. She's now getting the nutrition that she wasn't getting before.
We want to help you adjust, to make it simple so that tube feeding becomes a routine part of your daily living for as long as you need to tube feed your child. It can happen. Just look around. So many people like you are making it work every day. Tube feeding at home. Welcome to Tube Feeding Your Child at Home. This program will provide important information about tube feeding. We'll start off with the basics, including the formulas and the devices you'll use. Then, we'll review tube feeding methods and provide step-by-step instructions for important daily routines, like confirming tube placements, preparing formula, caring for the stoma site and feeding tubes, and administering medications. Finally, we'll discuss preventative care and review some common questions that new tube feeders often have, the same issues other families share as they establish routines. Along the way, we'll talk with people about their tube feeding experiences, parents and healthcare professionals. We want to support families, caregivers, and ultimately help children. To do that, we've organized this DVD into chapters based on questions many tube feeding families ask. Menus and an index will help you find what you want and learn what you need. You have the option to watch the video in its entirety or select the chapter you want to see. This video provides general information about managing tube feedings and care of your tube that apply to most situations. If your child's healthcare team has provided you with different instructions, always follow those given to you by your child's healthcare team.